And this is look. I said before, the big talented man will always beat the small talented fighter.
One of the most highly anticipated showdowns in boxing is the potential clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Both reigning world champions have hinted at their willingness to face off in a bout that could define their legacy. Crawford, in particular, has displayed remarkable resolve, openly discussing his readiness to move up in weight and take on Canelo under conditions that could challenge both fighters.
I'll be going for Bud. You know, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but
While Canelo Alvarez had earlier dismissed the idea of this matchup, claiming a win wouldn't earn him much recognition, he has recently softened his stance and shown greater interest in exploring serious offers. With both fighters actively seeking marquee opponents and no major bouts currently on their calendars, the likelihood of this clash happening in 2025 has risen significantly. Even Oscar de la Hoya, despite his often strained relationship with Canelo, has weighed in on the potential showdown between the Mexican icon and Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford says he wants to fight Canelo. He's changed his tune. He said he's willing to move up 3 weight divisions. To me, that's kind of crazy, but that just shows you, like, man, the dog that's in Terence Crawford. If Canelo...
Oscar de la Hoya maintains that his opinions about any potential fight involving Canelo Alvarez are entirely unbiased. Sharing a bold take on this hypothetical matchup, the former world champion expressed confidence in Canelo's size and power, giving him a decisive edge over Terence Crawford at 154 pounds. Crawford didn't appear too threatening against a beast, so imagine Canelo, the bigger guy, being a beast himself. It's almost like a no contest. Come on, when has a smaller skilled fighter ever truly beaten a skilled bigger fighter? It's a rarity in the history of boxing, De La Hoya told Fight Hub TV. While Crawford is celebrated for his technical prowess and punching power, he would undoubtedly face a daunting physical test against Canelo in the latter's natural weight class.
Terence Crawford will beat Canelo anytime. Anytime. Because
While some analysts believe Terence Crawford has the necessary skills to challenge Canelo Alvarez, the stark difference in size and power could ultimately tip the scales in Canelo's favor. For now, the future of this potential showdown remains up in the air, as both fighters have existing obligations. Whether an agreement can be reached will depend on several factors, including negotiations and strategic moves from both camps. Few fighters have had the rare experience of sharing the ring with both Crawford and Canelo. One such fighter, Amir Khan, who suffered stoppage defeats against both, has already shared his opinion on how a potential Crawford versus Canelo fight would unfold.
What do I think of that fight?
Yeah.
I think that, everybody knows that Crawford got the skills. I do think that Canelo's a little big for Crawford.
A few others have also sparred with both men, and one of them has now shared his perspective on how he envisions this fantasy clash playing out. That fighter is middleweight contender Jaron Davis, who even faced Canelo's rival, David Benavidez, in November 2021. Having sparred with both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, Davis shared his thoughts with Mill City Boxing, stating that he believes the fight would be incredibly difficult for Crawford, and he would favor Alvarez to emerge victorious. Canelo is a big guy, and he can take a punch. It's going to be a lot for Crawford. I don't think Crawford can hurt him with a single punch. Maybe he could cut him or land something to the body that might bother him, but that's about it, Davis explained.
You have to. It'll be a lot to get that victory based on size alone. Not that size wins fights, but you got a guy that got size and skill.
He's going to have to get some meat on those gloves and focus on the body. It's going to be a tall order, Davis continued. Canelo is a real fighter. He has the skills, the moves, and the traps. Boxing isn't easy, but nothing is impossible. However, if I had to place a bet, I'd put my money on Canelo. I'm not taking anything away from Crawford, but Canelo is on another level. Can Canelo stop him? He's the bigger guy, and I believe one punch could do it. Meanwhile, David Benavidez, another notable figure in the division, has also shared his thoughts on a potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford matchup.
Crawford throwing his hat in to want to fight Canelo at 168.
I mean, everybody wants to fight Canelo. It's the money fight. You know what I mean? I think Even Inoue would come up to fight Canelo. Canelo wanted to fight him. I mean, I don't want to see Crawford to fight Canelo.
Terence "Bud" Crawford made the leap to the 154-pound super welterweight division for his most recent fight, where he defeated Israel Madrimov by decision. As a result, Crawford now holds the WBO interim super welterweight title, adding to his already impressive 40-0 professional record. Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, is considered one of the greatest fighters of the modern era. In his most recent bout, Canelo triumphed over Edgar Berlanga at super middleweight, continuing his dominance at 168 pounds. The Mexican legend has an extraordinary professional record of 62-2. While David Benavidez has praised Crawford's technique, he expressed doubts about whether Crawford's power would effectively carry over to higher weight classes, particularly when facing someone like Canelo. To challenge Canelo, Bud would need to move up 2 more weight divisions.
But it would be. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great fight. It'd be a great fight. But I feel like if I deserve my opportunity, and and after this fight, what else are they gonna say?
In a recent interview, David Benavidez shared his thoughts, saying, "To be honest with you, Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I've ever seen. But when he moved up to 154, I'm not saying he had issues, but he didn't seem to have the same power he had at 147. And now, he'd still have to move up 2 or 3 weight classes. Crawford is a unique fighter, no doubt, but weight classes matter. I'd give Canelo the edge." Benavidez, who has spent the majority of his career at 147 pounds, would need to make a significant move up in weight to take on Canelo at super middleweight. Meanwhile, Benavidez has long been considered a fighter who could pose a challenge to Canelo in the ring. However, a dream showdown between the two Mexican fighters has yet to materialize.
I mean, this is a tough fight. You know, the top WBC, the top people ranked at the WBC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight Bivol, or I'll go try to, I set my conquest on 175.
The fast-handed David Benavidez is scheduled to face David Morrell in his next fight on February 1st. Meanwhile, the potential clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has captured the imagination of boxing fans worldwide. After his dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr., Crawford has openly stated his desire to face the Mexican super middleweight champion. Crawford, widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world, would be undertaking a monumental challenge by moving up 2 weight classes to take on Canelo. However, the path to this historic fight will not be easy. Demetrius Andrade, a former super middleweight world champion, has also weighed in on this highly anticipated matchup.
Just too much overall. Like, is that kind of the same thing with the Crawford and Canelo because of the weight classes, the weight between them?
Yeah, I believe so.
I love Crawford. He's a good friend of mine. We've reached out to each other, traveled the world through the amateur program. He's seen me beat people up, and I've seen him do the same. The stories could go on, but when it comes to weight and power, that stuff's real. Andrade shared during an interview with Fight Hub TV. While Andrade, who was once linked to a potential fight with Canelo, acknowledged Crawford's extraordinary talent and skill, he believes Canelo holds a significant advantage due to his size and experience in higher weight classes. Canelo is a big, bad wolf, and he can go all night. Crawford has the skills, no doubt, but when it comes to solid landing shots and avoiding his power punches, Canelo knows how to move. He has agility. He's not a robot. It's going to be a tough fight, Andrade explained.
I love Crawford. He's a good friend. We reach out to each other. We've traveled the world through the amateur program. He see me beat people up. I see him beat people up. He see me get beat up. I got beat up. We both.
I don't think Crawford can beat Canelo, but I still believe he can give him a good fight, and I'll be sitting there rooting for Canelo all day, Andrade added. However, some other fighters have a different perspective, believing that Crawford is skilled enough to cause serious damage to Canelo, regardless of the weight disparity. Bivol was recently asked to share his thoughts on the much-discussed potential clash between the exceptionally talented Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, both of whom are regarded as among the finest in the sport today.
Crawford wanting to fight Canelo 3 divisions up. Good idea, bad idea?
I don't remember sizes of Terence Crawford.
Welterweight.
If he big, actually.
Maybe he's probably...
I remember when I first came to the boxing gym, One of the first lessons I learned was to respect weight classes, but Terence is one of my favorite active fighters. He has excellent skills, very good skills. Maybe he could show us something new. He already knows what to do, and his coach knows. They'll find a solution to make it happen, Bivol shared. When directly asked whether he thought Crawford could beat Canelo, Bivol responded, "I can imagine it." This shows just how much Bivol values Crawford's abilities, even though he'd be up against a naturally larger opponent. Bivol also pointed out that Crawford's ring intelligence could give him a key advantage over Canelo. "I can tell you that Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world right now. I see him with more boxing IQ."
I came to the boxing gym. One of the first lesson which I should learn, it's like you should respect weight classes. What it means. But Terence Crawford now is one of the favorite.
Hall of Famer and ESPN boxing analyst Timothy Bradley Jr. has expressed his preference for Terence Crawford in a potential matchup against Sault Canelo Alvarez. Bradley took to his YouTube channel to make his case, challenging the focus on weight. "Everyone keeps talking about the weight," Bradley said. While Crawford only recently moved up from welterweight to 154 pounds, Alvarez has been competing at 168 pounds since late 2020. Bradley questioned the notion of Canelo knocking Crawford out, asking, "When was the last time Canelo knocked someone out?" It's been a while, with Alvarez's most recent stoppage coming against Caleb Plant in November 2021.
I don't know, someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez.
Since then, Canelo has struggled to secure knockouts against established opponents like Dmitry Bivol in a loss and a 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin. He has also gone the distance with fighters who were considered far below his skill level, such as John Ryder, Jamie Munguia, and Edgar Berlanga. Even Jermall Charlo, a natural junior middleweight, went the full distance with Canelo, though he was never remotely competitive with the super middleweight king. "Y'all can quit with that. He's going to knock Crawford out, talk? Come on, man," Bradley said. "Didn't we just see Alexander Usyk fight a guy like Tyson Fury, who was, quote-unquote, 50 pounds heavier? Canelo is the same height as Crawford. He's not a natural 168 pounds. Usyk is a great fighter, absolutely, but you know who else is a great one? Crawford. The great ones know how to figure it out."
Yes, he is. Number 2, Devin Haney. You want to get back, man, go back to your roots, bro. Go back to where you started, bro.
Bradley pointed out Crawford's 74-inch reach, which is 3.5 inches longer than Canelo's, along with his exceptional ability to neutralize opponents with counterpunching. Since Alvarez is already a low-output fighter, Bradley believes Crawford could win a decision by staying at a distance, using straight shots to exploit Alvarez's looping hooks, and gradually wearing Canelo down as the fight progresses. "Don't go running away from the fight now, Canelo," Bradley said, referring to the unified super middleweight champion's apparent avoidance of David Benavidez. Mimicking Canelo's higher-pitched voice, Bradley added, "Remember what you said, easy fight, easy fight, easy fight, easy fight." While a cluster of analytical boxing minds shares Bradley's opinion, most within the fight game believe the size and power difference between the two fighters is too significant for Crawford to impose his skills.
Where'd you start? You started in Mexico, man. Go back, get one of those guys out of there, man. Go back, start there. That's where you start. Go back to your roots, bro. Get some of that humble pie, bro. Go back, start where you started. Start where you started at.
Bradley, known for his bold opinions, stood firm in his unpopular take. "I'm going to get back to my hater raid," he joked toward the end of the video, sipping his drink. "You already know." Whether the boxing world will see a Canelo versus Crawford matchup is ultimately up to Alvarez. Crawford, who became the undisputed welterweight champion in July 2023 after stopping Errol Spence Jr. inside 9 rounds, continued to make history for himself earlier this year when he became a 4-division champion by outpointing Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA title at 154 pounds. Meanwhile, the Mexican icon, Canelo, has also enjoyed significant success in recent years.
Just with Canelo, obviously, he had his fight with Edgar Berlanga announced recently. not received necessarily the positive outcome and reaction he'd have liked. What did you make of the Canelo Berlanga fight?
After winning the undisputed super middleweight title in 2021, Canelo lost to Dimitri Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight champion at the time. But the 34-year-old has since bounced back with 5 straight wins, defeating fighters like Gennady Golovkin, Jermel Charlo, and Edgar Berlanga. Legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts on the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford, saying he would have a hard time betting against the American southpaw. Not many fighters are willing to push themselves like Crawford, Atlas said. I'll never bet against that guy. Father Time might catch him, but I'm not sure a weight class can stop him.
Listen, I think Berlanga is a talented kid who's getting better. He's improved recently. I think he still needs more seasoning, but I see an improvement in him. He is a talent.
It's a huge challenge because Canelo is a fantastic fighter. He's bigger, stronger, and can land punches while timing you. But just because Crawford is smaller doesn't mean he won't have a strategy to make Canelo use his size. Speaking with Fight Hub TV, McIntyre gave high praise to the undefeated Crawford, who is rumored to face Canelo in May or September. Crawford has everything he needs to win a 3rd undisputed title. Any real boxing fan knows Crawford can beat Canelo. You just have to understand the sport to see it, McIntyre said.
Everybody that believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo, just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence.
Regarding Conor Ben's performance, McIntyre was blunt, saying, "I think he looked like trash. I didn't watch the fight, but some of the coaches were watching it while I was driving, and they just said he looked like trash. I know Pete Dobson really well, and he gave him a tough fight, but I don't think much of Ben. I really don't know him, I just hear his name." When asked about Ben wanting to fight Tank Davis next, McIntyre responded, "Why would he go down there and pick on guys at 135 and 141? Why not challenge fighters at 147 and 154? If you really want to fight somebody, fight the best." On the upcoming Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman fight, McIntyre shared his thoughts. "I think it's going to be a good fight. Tszyu has the momentum because Keith has been out for a while."
It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terry's going to get in there and do what he needs to do. Perform.
It's going to be a tough fight to call right now, but I can see Tszyu taking it just because he has the momentum. Thurman doesn't have that, and it's like riding a bike. Thurman has been at the top level for many years, McIntyre said. He will corner rising star Keeson Davis this Thursday in Las Vegas ahead of the Super Bowl on Sunday. McIntyre expects a great performance due to the meticulous preparation. "I want him to pick up a few titles, win in a few divisions, and let his body grow. He's only 25 years old," McIntyre pointed out. "In 7 or 8 years, we could call him one of the greatest to lace up the gloves. But it's a process to get there, and I'm glad he's starting that journey. The energy level he has is impressive. He's on the big stage now, and the sparring has been solid. He's ready. The key is training every day, focusing on strategy, and keeping a close eye on him. Everything from when he wakes up to when he sleeps. That's my job," McIntyre concluded. As for the potential clash between former two-weight undisputed champion Terence Crawford and former super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez, McIntyre acknowledged that the fight seems nearly impossible to make. This has sparked rumors about Crawford's retirement from boxing. During Crawford's last fight against Israel Madrimov, his representative, Turki Alek, reached out to Canelo's team to arrange the fight. However, miscommunication between the parties led to Alek pulling back the offer. Eddie Hearn, who also spoke to Canelo about the proposed fight, doesn't see it happening. Hearn suggested that Canelo is looking for opponents who are willing to stand and fight rather than employ a strategic, running-around approach, something Crawford would likely need to do due to his size disadvantage. Meanwhile, Alek has hinted that Crawford may instead face interim WBC super welterweight champion Virgil Ortiz Jr.
When is Crawford coming back? What are the plans for him?
I think he's injured now. We are planning to have something with him. I will discuss with him maybe in January. I see him last week in Hamburg. He said he's have a little injured, and he's...
However, Ortiz's trainer, Robert Garcia, revealed that in a private conversation with Crawford, the Nebraska technician made it clear that he wants Canelo or nothing at all. hinting at Crawford's potential retirement. Alex seems to share this belief, stating to the Stomping Ground, "I don't think Crawford will fight anyone except Canelo. Even though I wanted to offer Virgil Ortiz as an opponent, I don't think Crawford will take it. I think he only wants Canelo." Despite these speculations, the latest tweet from the undefeated two-weight undisputed champion suggests that retirement might not be on his mind just yet. "I have been doubted my whole career, and some still doubt me now. I love it," Crawford wrote on X.
To rehab now and training again, and we hope to. He's one of our plan to see him fight.
Seeing this, a fan responded to Crawford, "Keep fighting 1x a year, Bud." What an era. Crawford quickly cleared up the retirement rumors, writing, "The demand is high. It seems Bud might still keep fighting. And while it may not be against Canelo, that hasn't stopped people from speculating on how such a matchup would play out." David Benavidez, who also wants his own fight against Canelo, shared his thoughts on a potential clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. While acknowledging Crawford's technical brilliance, Benavidez expressed doubts about Crawford's ability to handle the challenges of higher weight classes.
25.
The goal, obviously, is a Canelo fight for him, right?
We hope he wants this fight, and why not?
You and Canelo, I know you guys are working towards trying to do.
To be honest with you, Crawford is one of the best technical fighters I have ever seen, Benavidez said. When he went to 154, I'm not saying he had problems, but he looked like he didn't have the same power he had at 147, and he'd still have to move up 2 or 3 weight classes. Crawford is a one-of-a-kind fighter, but weight classes must be respected. I'd give Canelo the edge. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and action in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you're alerted when we drop quality content like this. Until next time, peace out